milestone, 1, 5, 10, 15. It's worth celebrating. So I'm feeling like, okay, maybe I should have waited and be part of you. But so just a round of applause for the opportunity to be part of the faith cohort. All right, so before we start, we want to acknowledge the presence of our online community. Most of the times we forget about them and we talk as if we are the only ones here. We have an online community that every now and then we have to be saying hello to them so that they feel that they are part of us. All right, so before we start, we want the opportunity to express our appreciation to God for how far He has brought us. So let's have an opening prayer by Miss Sarah Tay, and then we can kickstart.
Good morning, everyone. Let's be in the mood of prayer. Our most gracious and everlasting Father, we thank you for bringing us together here. It was an amazing thing that we were all waiting for. But as now we are come to start, we call upon you to be with us and protect us to the end. This is what we are calling to your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Great, thank you. We thank God for the opportunity. When you go to a house, you go anywhere, well, from our culture, if I enter your house and you haven't welcomed me, I will not be comfortable. I cannot feel free and express myself, right? So we want to give the opportunity to our host to welcome us so that we will feel welcome. As and now, we haven't been welcome yet. So please, let's welcome Prof. Frederick Ama. He's the Director for Research. And I'm excited about that because I'm a researcher. So I'm glad to meet you. So he's a Director for Research for AAU. He will give us the welcome address, and then we can feel good and we can make merry. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I'm most grateful. Yes, so as our precious sister has alluded to our Ghanaian tradition, it's very customary for us to welcome our visitors. When you enter any household, there are several things that you might see, but you'll still be lost within that confines of the house. So you need to be welcomed and then introduced into the various domains. And that is the purpose for which I am here this morning. So on behalf of the Secretary General of the Association of African Universities, Professor Olushola Bandele Oyewole, and the Director of ICT and Knowledge Management, Ms. Nodumo Lamini, who are unavoidably absent today, I wish to welcome you to the AAU Secretariat in Accra, Ghana. We have been informed that the participants are coming from a number of countries, including Ethiopia, USA, Kenya, Benin, and a few others. For those of you who are visiting Ghana for the first time, we will say Akwaba, we say welcome, we say Miawizo. We are optimistic that you would experience the proverbial Ghanaian hospitality before you leave. That is for those who are visiting us for the first time. The AAU is honored to be a partner to this event, and we are certain that this convening will be a harbinger of greater things, mutually beneficial partnerships, and indeed long-standing collaboration between our respective institutions. We are committed to this partnership because there is a need for us to address grand challenges within the 21st century context, including internet governance. These are pertinent issues for us to address as individuals, as government officials, as policymakers, as civil society, as academia, as business and private sector. We all have a role to play in this particular constellation of partnership. So we believe that this partnership is very important, and this collaboration requires inclusive and adaptive approaches that will address these emerging challenges that we talk about today. There are several issues that come to the fore when we look at internet governance. One of them is the fact that internet governance is a multi-stakeholder engagement. You can't do it alone. It is also cross-scalar. That means that you have to implement initiatives at various hierarchical administrative scales. It could be the local, it could be metropolitan, it could be national, it could even be supranational. There are some policies that need to be enacted beyond the national. So this is very, very important. And I've already alluded to the fact that civil society, industry, academia, policymakers, and many other stakeholders have a key role to play in this decision-making process. The second issue that comes to the fore when we talk about internet governance is the fact that we must adapt or adopt a human rights-based approach where we prioritize privacy, freedom of expression, and non-discrimination. This is also very important. And then the issue of inclusive and diverse participation. If we were to sample, those of you who have come here, we'll see that you are coming from different disciplines, different domains. And that also gives indication of the fact that we require diverse participation to ensure equal opportunities for groups that are underserved by society or that are underrepresented within the community. And then internet governance also has one domain that is very important for us at the AAU, that is capacity building and education. And I believe that this convening resonates with that particular agenda, where we need to develop digital skills and literacy to really ensure that people are abreast with the current trends when it comes to internet governance. And beyond that, how we can even engage in decision-making process regarding the literacy domains and skills, core competencies that are required for internet governance. So transparency, accountability, good governance, responsible decision making, they are also very important elements. And emerging issues that are coming to the fore: artificial intelligence, blockchain, high performance computing, Internet of Things, cybersecurity. These are all very, very important things that should really engage our attention, where we strive to really engage with the processes and the decision-making mechanisms that we have deployed to address this. These things that I've alluded to in the foregoing are important because it makes us become future-proof. We must become future-proof. We must future-proof our organizations. Future-proofing simply means that we must be equipped with the core competence and skill sets so that when any emerging challenge occurs, we are actually braced for action. We shouldn't be reactionary in that. We should be rather anticipatory in that. So that's very important. So by embracing this forward-looking approach, we can ensure a robust, resilient, and people-centered system that supports human well-being, sustainable development, and global prosperity. So on this note, I say welcome once again to the Association of African Universities, which is the voice of higher education in Africa. And may we have fruitful deliberations during this engagement. All the very best, and God bless us all. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Please, let's give it up more. Wow. So, Prof, we are grateful. Thank you so much. You know, before I didn't have the Vim. Okay, so I couldn't even mention my name. Now that he has welcomed us, we are now at home, right? Oh, please don't be dull on me. Please, let's feel at home. Don't make me feel like I'm the only one. We're actually at home. Okay, so Prof, we are grateful. You know, beyond that, all the things you said, we are excited that we actually do share a lot in common than we thought, right? So we are grateful for your partnership, and we trust God that we'll do more together. Okay, so that being said, my name is Karen Malo, and then we are going to be working together. Okay, please, I don't like dullness. Life is stressful, life is short. So please, while we are here, let's make the most out of it. If it is smile, smile. If I'm talking, you are just squeezing your face and you're looking at me, I'm like, why are you hungry? Right. So that being said, moving on, now that we have been welcome, okay, we are at home. Now we need to hear another voice. that voice, you have met him several times, virtually, okay, but you haven't met him physically. Some have met him physically. So before we invite the founder and the president of EGIGFA, our online community, just to be sure that you are with us, and then we want you to feel part, just give us some reactions. If it's a thumbs up, whatever reactions that you can give, let's know that you are with us so that we can acknowledge your presence. So please, let's have the opening remarks from our president, founder and president of EGIGFA. He's a household name. We already know him. But then, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Raymond Mamata.
Thank you. Indeed, sweet confusion. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols duly observed. It gives me much privilege to welcome all of you to the 5th edition of Ghana School on Internet Governance Fellowship, which is organized by the E-Governance and Internet Governance Foundation for Africa for the past 5 years. And I would like to acknowledge the great work that my team has been doing all this while. We've been together for 5 years, making great impacts. Reason our team is celebrating 5 years of making drastic impact in internet governance. The concept of internet governance is very broad, and we realized that most Ghanaians were not engaging in internet governance activities, reason that we started this initiative. And we are proud to say that we've not regretted this initiative because we are really making that drastic impact. In the past 5 years, we have produced over 200 fellows who are making very big impact in the ecosystem. It is worthy to mention that some of these fellows are even beating some of us in various roles that we compete in. So that tells you that we are really making good impacts that is worthy of celebrating. And you can see some of the current and existing fellows who are among us. Among them are Frank, Al-Hassan, the EC, and Gosway, among others. And we want to acknowledge your presence as well. Let me also thank the EGIGFA board for their massive support that they've given us all this while. When the idea started, we contacted a lot of people and not everybody came on board. But I'm sure by now, most of them are regretting for not coming on board because EGIGFA and GhanaSIG has become a household name that is really being celebrated all over the world, especially when schools of internet governance are mentioned, GhanaSIG stands out. Because unlike the other existing schools on internet governance, GhanaSIG is different because we are in 2 stages for the fellowship training. The first is the online studies, which lasts for 5 weeks, and the fellows take a lot of courses. For this year, they've taken 11 courses. From that, after completing all the 11 courses before you qualify for the climax, which is the face-to-face that we are seeing here today. So all the fellows that are here, a big thank you for the sacrifices that you have made to complete all the 11 courses, reason you are here. So want to acknowledge you for that. I also want to especially thank Uncle Ken, who is representing the board, because when we approached most people, they were not willing to come on board, but they believed in the team and they started with us when nobody knew anything about EGIGFA or GhanaSIG, but they believed in us and willingly accepted to come on board. So I want to thank the EGIGFA board. I want to thank Uncle Ken for the opportunity to be part of us. I also want to acknowledge the efforts being made by AAU We approached them at the last stage and they accepted to be partners for us to celebrate this 5th edition. I want to say thank you very much for the opportunity. And for Paradigm Initiative, who are our major sponsors, we also want to thank them for the opportunity and believing in Team EGIGFA and the GhanaSIG program. All this while they've been providing a lot of support to us from day one. We want to thank them for that kindness given to us. And we will not be here without the support of some of our fellows who willingly decided to come on board and give us financial support. Among them is Prince, who is the EC president, and other colleagues who have willingly donated, reason that we are able to provide accommodation for those we call the foreigners. The foreigners in terms that they are coming outside Accra and outside Ghana. So we call them the foreigners. So we've been able to provide accommodation to the foreigners because of the support provided to us by the fellows, the existing fellows. Pulse on internet governance, this year we'll be having election, and internet is for everybody. It is not for the government. Internet has a lot of stakeholders, multi-stakeholders that play a critical role in it. And all of us use internet in our daily lives. Businesses rely on internet for various transactions. Corporate entities, even those who rely on e-commerce, the internet is what they rely on as their tool to work. In this regard, I want to make an appeal to the powers that be, that whilst elections are coming on in Ghana, we should make it an effort not to shut down the internet. The internet is not for only an entity. It's not for only the government. It's not for only anybody. Everybody owns the internet. So it is my appeal that whilst elections are coming on, let us keep the internet on. Please, no internet shutdown during the election because we all rely massively on it. To our fellows, today you are all gathered here because of the efforts that you have put in, and you've been selected among over 400 applicants, and out of which we've selected 53 of you, and 47 of you made it to the last stage. So it is an achievement that you should celebrate. Once you go into the internet governance engagements in GhanaSIG, we call it sweet confusion. From the beginning, a lot of things didn't make sense to you. All of us passed through that stage. So it's a stage that you all pass through. Everything might seem confusing to you, but take your time and keep learning. We all keep learning in the journey. Unless you decide not to learn, that is when you get rusted. So keep learning, and all the sweet confusion that comes from the beginning will make meaning to you. One of the fellows said, at the beginning, it was like plenty dots, but whilst he keeps engaging, the dot got connected. So in the beginning, the sweet confusion will be there, but keep engaging, all the dots will connect, and you find your foothold where you can effectively operate. So enjoy the sweet confusion from the beginning, but soon and very soon, everything will make much sense to you. I want to thank my team, the EGIGFA team, very much for the support that we have all and sacrifices that we have all given for the success of EGIGFA. It will interest you to know everybody is a volunteer in EGIGFA. Nobody is doing this full time. But if we don't mention it to you, we didn't realize it because of the high commitment that everybody brings on board. So I want to thank the EGIGFA team. Please, Team EGIGFA, please be on your feet. Jacob, Sarata. Jacob is a co-founder. Sarata is a co-founder. Perrin is here. Emmanuel just got out. Gosway, I think, is also just got out. So I want to thank the EGIGFA team very much for the support and the contribution that we have all made and the successes that we are celebrating today. You fellows make a lot of history for yourself, make a lot of memories for yourself, and enjoy the fellowship. GhanaSIG, more vim.
We are tired of the class, so what can I do? All right. So, Raymond, we are grateful for those words. I'm sure everybody has picked something from there. So, moving on to another important speech. We are grateful to have him online. And you know how it feels when you are in bed or when you are sleeping. Okay, so for some of us who try to join the ICANN meetings because of the time zone, right? And then it's midnight or 11, and then you are trying to be awake. We caught somebody dozing before. You are trying to be awake, right? Now, our next speaker, where he is, it's midnight now, but he stayed up just to share some few words with us. Okay, so I'm trying to let us picture how it feels like when you are trying to stay up, okay, so that you can appreciate the effort that he has put in to wait for us, right? So Leon, please, are you with us? We have Mr.
Thank you very
Leon
much. Yes,
Chancels.
I am here with you.
Okay, so can we get a voice? I mean, the volume is quite low. We can hear him.
Can you hear
All
me?
right, so yes, kindly hold on a bit. We want to get
Yes.
the volume up. All right, so we are grateful to have him join us. You know, you have read ICANN board. You have read all those things. He's a member of the board. He's a director, so he's not a, you see that it's not a small one. In fact, all the speakers that we have, they are not small boys. Oh, we are privileged to be having them talk to us. Okay, so yeah, it's exciting to have Leon Chancels join us. It's midnight. So Leon, just to let you know that we are grateful for the time and then for the effort just to share a few words with us. So please, are we ready to go? All right, so Chancels, over to you. We have the cohorts of the 5th edition of the Ghana School on Internet Governance. So the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me well. And I am very grateful for the opportunity to speak to you. I'm sorry that my camera is not on, as it was mentioned, it's midnight here. So I have people asleep around me, and that doesn't allow me to turn the lights on. So that's why I'm with my camera off. And I want to thank especially Raymond Mamata, who kindly invited me to speak to you. And while I was preparing to speak to you yesterday, I mentioned to Raymond that it was well, midnight where I am. I am based in Mexico City, just outside Mexico City. So it's 4 a.m. for me here. And he mentioned that he was grateful for the great sacrifice of staying up till this late. And I told him, you know, it's not a sacrifice, it's really a commitment. And this is where I want to concentrate in my speech to you. I know you are fellows to this School of Internet Governance in Ghana, and you are maybe starting or continuing your journey in the internet governance space. And as Raymond was mentioning, it takes a lot of commitment to make things happen, to find consensus in areas in which we may have different views, and a lot of work to find the spaces and to provide, you know, the spaces in which different voices come together and discuss openly and respectfully the different issues and the different challenges that we face all in the internet governance space. As you might have learned within this School of Internet Governance, we are at a crossroads in the internet governance environment or ecosystem. We are just about to go into the WSIS plus 20 review next year, and this may have important consequences in how internet governance is handled, how internet governance is viewed not only by the United Nations, but also from governments and other stakeholders within the ecosystem. And to this end, I think that your participation within the multi-stakeholder model of internet governance is fundamental. I know that there are different multi-stakeholder models that work in different spaces, but the multi-stakeholder model that has worked for years within ICANN and within other organizations that form part of the internet governance space is fundamental to, as I was saying, allow us to discuss and to reach consensus into how the internet must be handled, must be governed, so that it works for everyone. As Raymond was saying before me, the internet has turned into an essential piece and an essential tool that allows people to voice their thoughts, to participate in politics, to boost their economy, to acquire knowledge, to connect with people. You know, it is so essential to our activities and to our well-being nowadays that thinking of a world without an open, single, reliable, stable internet, it's just so difficult to realize, right? So I think that the work that this School of Internet Governance is doing is definitely something that I would like to commend, that I would like to celebrate, because you are the future of the internet. And I'm not saying this lightly. I think that nowadays it is most important to have voices from the global south and from developing countries to voice their thoughts, because in the past, there has been some dominant voice or dominant voices from the global north, but now it is important to hear those voices and to have those voices taken into account from the global south. Myself, coming from a developing country, I know that it's not easy always to find your space, to have the opportunity to participate, to have your voice heard and taken into account. But with dedication, with work, and with respect, I think that we can certainly achieve this objective of participation and positive participation, not only sitting at the table, but also having our voices count within this space. So I know that 10 years ago we were looking at the next billion users coming from Asia, and well, it certainly happened. Now I am convinced, as many are, that the next billion users will come from Africa. And here is where you play a fundamental role in taking your part and taking your stake in the internet governance space. And from wherever you come, if it is from civil society, if it's from academia, if it is from the government, if it is from the technical sector, pretty much anywhere you belong to, trying to embrace this multi-stakeholder model, trying to educate others within this space into how they can achieve objectives based on this multi-stakeholder model, and trying to keep, again, a single, open, interoperable, resilient, stable internet that serves all people in the world is the best thing we can do, not only in the present, but also looking into the future. So I definitely encourage you to continue this journey in the internet governance space, to get involved with the different organizations, the different spaces in which you can actively participate. I know that not all spaces are for everyone, but you can certainly find one space within the multiple events and discussions that are happening around the internet governance arena, in which you can again find your place and participate meaningfully and constructively. So just keep the good work going. Don't discourage yourself if you find yourself confused, or you feel like people are talking about things that you don't understand. We have all been there, but again, with work and with dedication, you will find your place, and you will be able to contribute meaningfully and constructively to this space. Just to tell you a little bit about myself and my personal journey within this space, I started getting interested in this internet governance space when I was only in high school. It was something that always attracted me, but I didn't really found a way to, participate and get into the discussions. As I said, coming from a developing country, which is also Mexico, and not having the opportunities to have an internet governance school as you have, well, it was a little bit more difficult back then, and I found that there was a fellowship program for ICANN, so I applied for it. And the first time that I applied, I got rejected. The second time that I applied, I got rejected again. So it was kind of discouraging and disheartening, to fail in my application. But I was so compelled to take part of this internet governance space that I applied a third time, and as we said, there's always in Mexico we have a saying that we say that the third time is the last time, or the good time, the final intent. So I applied a third time to this fellowship program. That was back in 2012, and I got accepted. And I was immediately caught by the fellowship program in ICANN. It was so inspiring, so uh, uh, constructive to myself, that I immediately tried to find ways into which I could contribute more to the ICANN community. And I am an intellectual property attorney by training, so I thought that my natural space within the ICANN community would be with the intellectual property constituency. For those of you who are not familiar with the ICANN structure, the intellectual property constituency is one of the constituencies within the generic named supporting organization, which is in its place one of the supporting organizations that forms the ICANN community. After participating in a couple of meetings with the IPC, it felt like it wasn't really my place to be. And I had always been a users' rights advocate in Mexico. So I tried to find my place in the end users community within ICANN. So I went to what we call the ALAC, the At-Large Advisory Committee, and the At-Large Community, to which Raymond also belongs and is familiar with. And I started working there. I applied through the NOMCOM to become an ALAC member. I got appointed, and I immediately started drafting statements and working with my colleagues in the ALAC. And I was lucky to have many people around me that guided me, that lended a hand so I could learn. And as Raymond was saying, I think this is the most important part. You have to continue learning. I mean, it doesn't matter if you've been around for 10, 20 years in this space. There is always something new to learn. And this is where also the voices of the young people like you that are just coming into this space are fundamental for us who have been long time in the space to continue learning. So it is a virtual circle in which, you know, the old guys feed into the young guys and the young guys as well feed into the old guys. So this is why I believe that efforts like this Internet Governance School are fundamental to keep the ecosystem going. So after some years of work, I was lucky to have been designated by the ALAC to become a director in the ICANN board of directors. Now I am serving my third term. So that means I have already served 7 years in the board, and I still have 2 more years ahead of me to serve, and that will make it to a 9-year term. And I can tell you what I always say to the ICANN fellows. I think that the key to becoming part of the leadership team, not only within ICANN, but within pretty much any space, is to be aware that leadership positions are there to serve our community, to serve those who rely upon us, not to serve ourselves, not to be self-serving. So as long as you understand that and that you exercise that leadership with that orientation of serving others, I think you will be successful in becoming a leader in your communities and becoming a leader in the overall or the larger internet governance space. So I wish you a very fruitful continuation of your journey. Raymond knows that I am always available to talk to anyone who reaches out to me. Raymond could provide you with my details if you want to get in touch with me. And feel free to send me an email, and I'll be glad to continue our conversations. If you have any questions or any doubts that I can help with, I'll be happy to try to help. So thank you again for this invitation. Thank you, Raymond, and thank you all the all the people organizing this Ghana School of Internet Governance. I was in Ghana last year, and I have to say that I immediately fell in love with Ghana, and of course with its chocolate. And that is also another common ground that I think unites Mexico and Ghana. As you know, the cacao beans are said to have been originally from Mexico. So it's something that unites us and that talks about how related we are culturally, and of course with the internet ecosystem also in many other ways. So thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Wow. 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 Leon, we are so grateful. Please, permission to take just 2 questions for him. Anyone wants to? All right. So is there another mic? Okay. He said a lot of things. I don't know which one you heard. But believe me, even if we end here, you have a lot of things to go home with. All right. So Leon, please, there's a question for you.
Yes, hello. Hello. Okay. Hi, sir. How are you? Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. My question for you, you mentioned that you tried your 3 times as a charm, is what we say in America. What made you continue? What was it that made you not quit after the first time, the second time? I'm asking this question because actually last year I applied for GhanaSIG and I was not approved. So, I was still determined to try again, and I was so surprised and happy when I got the notification. So that's my question to you, sir. What is it that made you not quit, or what was it that drove you to continue? Obviously you got far, and I want to follow in your footsteps, so I will be contacting you as well.
Thank you very much for your question.
Please,
And
is there any other, Leon, can you take it? So that just take 2. So he answers
yes,
it. Done. Is there any other? All right. Please go ahead, Leon.
yes. So I guess I've always been stubborn and passionate about what I like. And as someone was saying in the chat, rejection is not the end of the road. And I think that when you are committed to an objective, you just keep going. And I think that's what drove me into, applying again and try to be, just persistent in my intent to contribute to these efforts within the internet. As I said, the internet and the internet ecosystem is something that attracted me from the very beginning. And I was so passionate about it that I wanted to contribute to it. And I know that being rejected the first time is disheartening. Imagine now being rejected a second time. It was like, okay, seems like it's not the path that I need to follow. But then again, as I said, I was stubborn and passionate about it. So I said, okay, what have I been doing in my application process that might, be influencing those that are making the decisions to not select me? So I reflected on, when you apply for the fellowship program in ICANN, you are asked to file in personal references so that they get contacted and they tell the committee whether you are a suitable candidate or not. And I found out that the person that I was fighting as a reference was not really helping me, but it was, acting against me. So I changed the reference and I put a different person as a reference the third time, and it worked. It happened that the second person that I used as a reference in my third application actually spoke well of me and helped me in the process. So that is also something that you need to be aware. There you might find people that don't want you in this space for different reasons. I'm not judging anyone or blaming anyone, but if you are committed, if you are passionate about this, you just need to keep trying. You just need to keep doing what you need to do to contribute to this space. And I hope that answers your question. And congratulations on being accepted in your second try to this GhanaSIG.
Nice one. Nice one. So, Leon, we are so grateful for your time. We acknowledge all the efforts that you've put in just to share this words with us. He's actually said a lot of things, which probably we could. Okay, so who can help with the question? Online? Okay, so Leon, please, someone has a question online. So whoever has the hands up, just in a few minutes so that we can allow Leon to catch some sleep. So kindly unmute and go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi. Oh. Hi. Please
Oh,
go ahead.
nice to meet you all. Thank you very much, Mr. President, Vice President, all of the fellows. I feel like I'm with you. Thank you very much for all your kindness. Now, I have a question for Mr. Leon. My question is about funders of ICANN. Whether or not, I don't know. May ICANN has a fund for least developed countries and for research and projects related to internet governance, because I don't have more information and no one which I know from Ethiopia working in ICANN. So I'm passionate to work with you, and I like to know more information about ICANN's fund and other opportunities for young generation to contribute for my country. So please give me some briefs about it. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much for your question. Yes, there are two programs within ICANN which you can benefit from. One of them is the fellowship program, and the other one is the Next Gen program. They have some differences between them. If you want to apply for the fellowship program, it's pretty much open to anyone. And the Next Gen program is more focused into university students that are still in the university phase. So if you are still in the university phase, you can apply to the Next Gen program when we go on our next meeting to Africa. And if you are not still in the university stage of your life, of your academic life, then you can apply to the fellowship program. And that is, as I said, open for everyone. And the fellowship program, as opposed to the Next Gen program, doesn't rely or is not related to having a meeting in the region. So you could apply, for example, if the meeting, if the ICANN meeting is taking place in any other region, like, for example, North America, Latin America, the Caribbean, Europe, or Asia Pacific, and you are based in Africa, you could apply for the fellowship program in any of those meetings. Now, there are certain rules that I'm not going to go through in this moment, but I'm happy to provide you with links to the information in which you can, of course, find out a little bit more for yourself. And I'm happy to keep in touch. As I said, Raymond has my contact details. And he knows he can share them with you. So if you want, just feel free to send me an email, and I'll be happy to continue this conversation. So now I'm going to post the links to the fellowship program and the Next Gen program in the chat, so you have them available and you are able to start your research into how to apply and how to take part in those programs. And as for programs that ICANN holds within developing countries, I have to say that there is a specific program for Africa. We have an office in Nairobi in Kenya, and that regional office takes care, of course, of the needs of the African region. And we have also a program for digital development in Africa. And I'm happy to also get you in touch with the right person that handles all issues for ICANN in Africa, so that you can also continue conversation with the right person that will be able to to guide you and lead you and answer your questions. So I hope that answers your question, and I will post the links to the Next Gen Fellowship Program in the chat.
All right, so please let's show some appreciation. Leon, we are grateful.
Thank you very much, Leo,
Yes,
for your kind briefing.
Yeah. So Leon, we are grateful for the words. I can assure you that all the things that you said will go a long way to help to provide some guidance. So just to let you know, you've said a lot. We will discuss it in our group levels, and then we can make progress. So please, we have released you to go. Once again, thank you for making the time. And then we hope that in future, we would have you on our sessions again. All right, fellows.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So please, all the things you learned from his speech, kindly jot something down. We'll get there. When we get there, don't say what somebody have said. All right. So let's move on now to our next speaker. You know, these speakers are put together for us to learn a lot from them. You hardly get this if you are not part of the process. Okay, so everybody comes and says something that really challenges you or inspires you. Okay, so if anyone is speaking, try and find out, okay, what is in the speech for me? You will find something there for you. Okay, so that by the time you are going home with a lot of knowledge. Okay, so our next speaker, and you see all the speakers are coming in no particular order because all the speakers have been carefully selected. They are all very huge in their spaces. So please have that at the back of your mind. So we have with us, in fact, we are grateful and happy to have him personally with us, Mr. Ken Amanfo. I don't know whether you have seen him before. Look, when he gives you the talk on cybersecurity, you remove yourself and get out. And all you'll be thinking about is, how can I get certified? Because he will ginger you, right? So we usually call him Uncle Ken, right? He's the chairman of ACDRO, and also we are privileged to have him as a EGIGFA board member. So please, Uncle Ken, we are grateful. We are honored to have you physically with us. We do not want to take it for granted at all. So thank you. Oh, yes. No, you can just. Okay. No, you don't want to. So please, let me tell you.
Usually when you have professors speaking and it's your turn, then it becomes the professors, they can just stand and speak extempo. But we have to, read. The Secretary General of the Association of African Universities, duly represented here by Professor Ama, founder and president of EGIGFA, board members and management of EGIGFA, distinguished speakers who will be speaking throughout this training program, the GhanaSIG alumni, esteemed participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure and honor that I stand before you today on behalf of the governing board of EGIGFA. At the opening of the 5th Ghana School of Internet Governance Training Program, and more particularly in celebrating a significant milestone, the 5th anniversary of the Ghana School of Internet Governance. This marks a pivotal moment, not just for GhanaSIG, but also for our nation and the African continent's journey towards digital empowerment and inclusive governance. Over the past 5 years, the Ghana School of Internet Governance has been at the forefront of advancing knowledge and awareness in internet governance principles and practices. Through its initiative, it has empowered a new generation of leaders who are instrumental in navigating the complexities of the digital age. I must say that as an adjunct lecturer on internet governance and IT law at GhanaSIG, I've seen a number of graduates from this program that have proceeded to pursue their master's degree. I teach the master's degree class, and I think that is a plus for this. Ladies and gentlemen, the internet has become an indispensable tool, transforming how we communicate, learn, conduct businesses, and govern ourselves. As we embrace this potential, we also recognize the challenges it presents, from privacy concerns to cybersecurity threats. Therefore, the need for informed, skilled, and ethical internet governance of practitioners has never been more urgent. The establishment of this school signifies the board and management of the EGIGFA commitment to cultivating a cadre of experts who will navigate their complexities with integrity and foresight. Through rigorous training and collaboration, we aim to foster a community that understands the principles of internet governance, advocates for digital rights, and drives policies that benefits all citizens. Moreover, this school embodies our dedication to inclusivity. We must ensure that all voices, especially those historically marginalized, are heard in shaping the future of our digital landscape. By promoting diversity in our discussions and decisions, we strengthen the foundation of a fair and equitable internet for generations to come. As we reflect on the achievements of GhanaSIG, the achievements of GhanaSIG for the past 5 years, let us also embrace the future with optimism and determination. Together, let us continue to strive for the digital future that empowers individuals, drives economic growth, and enhances social well-being. As we also embark on this educational journey together, let us seize the opportunity to learn, to innovate, and to lead. Let us uphold the values of transparency, accountability, and respect for human rights in our digital endeavors. And let us collaborate across sectors and borders, recognizing that our collective success hinges on our ability to work together. To our fellows hearing gathered, your presence here today demonstrates your commitment to advancing internet governance in Ghana and Africa as a whole. I urge you to make the most of this program, to forge connections, and to bring your unique expertise to the table. Once again, on behalf of the governing board, I want to thank you. I want to take this opportunity to thank you, or the opportunity, for celebrating this remarkable journey with you. To the management, the president management of GhanaSIG, I am proud to be a member of the board. And I want to congratulate you so much for your dedication on unflinching efforts in making sure that this school stays on course. Let me seize this opportunity to thank again our host, the Secretary General and his management, for their continuous partnership with us, and then also even taking the opportunity to host this very important 5th anniversary training program. Finally, I would like to extend my utmost gratitude to all our partners and stakeholders who have supported the establishment and the running of this school over the past 5 years. Your dedications ensure that we are equipped to navigate the evolving digital landscape responsibly. Together, let us embark on this journey with optimism and determination. Together, let us build a future where the internet serves as a force for good, enriching lives and empowering communities. Thank you very much for your audience.
We are very grateful, Uncle Ken. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please, just one question. Who has a question for him? Yes, because he's in a, he has to take leave of us. So please let it be brief, okay?
Good morning. Mine is, let me say, it's an appreciation. He was my lecturer. He taught me cybersecurity at GhanaSIG.
Oh.
So seeing him there, I really appreciate him so much. And then I pray that he continues to climb the ladder up there. Mr. Ken, I salute once again.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So Uncle Ken, we are very grateful. Despite all your busy schedules, you made time. We don't take it for granted. So please, you are released. Thank you very much. All right. Yes, he'll be back. So that's why we allow him to go. He will come back and have a session with us. All right, so we move on. So you see that when you hear one speaker, you think, you've heard something. Then another one comes. Okay, thank you, Prof.
Yeah, so I'll let you in on a little secret. I encountered Uncle Ken 38 years ago. That was the first time I met him. Yeah, 38 years ago, I encountered him. So he was my senior in high school. Yes, we were in the same room. Yeah, and they were the seniors there. So it's a very small world. Yes, thank you. Listen.
Wow. Wow, wow. How old were you then? Yeah. All right, so that's just by the way. So our next speaker, I'm excited about our next speaker too, because how many years ago I was like you, and then we're at Kofi Annan, and then I was there, and then this person came. Believe me, I got my inspiration, very first inspiration from him. I never mentioned it to anybody, and I know he's listening. I got my inspiration from him. Everybody comes with something. So I keep saying, you will always find yours somewhere, somehow. All right. So Benga, please, are you with us? I know you are with us. And then I never mentioned it. Raymond is not even aware that I got my inspiration from you. 2022, yes. 2022, when you came to Kofi Annan Center. So Benga, are you with us?
100%.
Okay. So Benga Sesan, have you heard of Paradigm Initiative? You haven't? You have seen it? Yeah. Yeah, social media. No problem. So Benga is the director of Paradigm Initiative. He's always been with the team. He's always supporting. He's a strong pillar behind the EGIGFA brand. And then we always want him to know that we appreciate him. So Benga, please, this year, I know usually you are with us physically, but then today you are not with us physically, but it doesn't matter. Online is online. So we are in the same space. So please, it's nice seeing you. The floor is yours. So come and do your thing.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
All right. I'll take that to mean about 5 minutes. I just want to be sure.
Okay, that's okay.
All right. Thank you for letting me know. It's one of the best things that could happen to you as a teacher is for you to know that your students took you seriously and that they did not just listen and continue with other things. So thank you for giving that feedback. And I'm glad to be back. logistics wise, it's impossible for me to be with you in person today, but I am sure that we will continue with the in-person routine from next year. And I believe that I will meet some members of this class before, in Accra, before this your fellowship year ends. I believe we will have an opportunity to meet. So first of all, thank you for inviting me again. I do not take it for granted to be able to contribute to the opening event. And I, of course, will spend some more time with you later to discuss, digital rights. But thank you. Thanks to the EGIGFA team for inviting me again. They keep saying that I support, but you guys make it easy for me to support because I see the hard work that you do. I see the gaps that you fill, and so thank you. And of course, congratulations to the class of 2024. I say congratulations to you because in this room today, the people who are seated, you assume that you are students and fellows and that's it. But no, that's not it. I look in that room today and I see experts who will retire me from active service in the work that I do today. I look in the room and I see people in all, stakeholder groups, civil society, private sector, academia, government, who in 5 years, who in 10 years will be the leaders in internet governance, not just in Africa, but across the world. You've heard many of us tell you our stories of how we started. I, started my work in internet governance a few years ago. Let me not age myself. Well, let's just say I started, 21 years ago, 2003, World Summit on Information Society. I was a member of the Youth Caucus. And in 2005, when the WSIS, World Summit on Information Society, decided to start the internet governance process through the Internet Governance Forum, I started attending. In those 21 years, I have moved from being an observer to becoming a student, which is what you are now, and a bit more. I became a student, but the reality of our sector is that you can be a student and a participant at the same time. While I attended the Africa School of Internet Governance many years ago, let me stop mentioning how many years. Many years ago, I attended the African School of Internet Governance, and guess what? The next year, I was invited back to come and teach. And that is the first thing I want to tell you today. Please do not be an ordinary student or an ordinary fellow. Be an active fellow. You could be a fellow and also move from being an observer to being a student to being a facilitator at the same time. And I'm not saying that the ultimate aim is for you to stand in front of a classroom and teach. No, the ultimate aim is for you to make impact. But I'm sharing my own journal, my own journey with you, which I've journaled carefully so that you can understand that when you move from being an observer, everybody is complaining, internet governance is bad, internet governance is difficult. You can choose to move from just being an observer to becoming a student or a researcher and at the same time become active. I became a student, I began to study, I began to research, and very quickly, people will notice when you become serious. People will notice and they will invite to come and add value. From then on, I, through Paradigm Initiative, continue to contribute through internet governance, forum processes, through schools on internet governance. And when you continue to contribute, people will notice and they will ask for more. By the way, the reward for hard work is not just more work. There's also recognition involved. When in 2022, the Secretary General decided to put together a group of 10 experts who will then advise him as members of the Internet Governance Forum Leadership Panel. When I got the invitation to join that 10-man-woman panel, I wasn't surprised. I remember we got to a meeting with the ITU Secretary General and everybody was talking about, I was surprised. I said I was not surprised because you're ITU Secretary General today. Many years ago in 2001, I was a fellow at the International Telecoms Union, and I decided I would not just be an ordinary fellow. I will be a different kind of fellow. I will be the kind of fellow that studies to understand, that chooses to fill gaps instead of complaining, and that decides that I will contribute so much that nobody can ignore my contribution. So right now, even though I look at my journey, started as an observer, became a student, became an active participant, and now serve as the Secretary General's leadership panel advisor on internet governance globally, I am not resting. So while my first lesson for you today is please don't be an ordinary fellow, be an active fellow. Don't do just enough. One of the problems that we have in our generation and your generation is that many times we do just enough. The fellowship says send a report by June 31. There's no June 31, so that's deliberate. And on June 30, you will remember, we're supposed to send a report tomorrow. And then you start scribbling something and you send it in. No, don't do that. From June 1 or from January 1, begin to put down the things you would put in your report. Be deliberate. One of the problems with not being deliberate is that you will submit late or at the last minute, and you will submit, excuse my French, nonsense. Of course, you will pass. And these days of ChatGPT, you can do just anything last minute and submit. But the difference between those who have to rely on external aid or who have to rush everything and those who are deliberate is that it will show. If there's someone sitting beside you, please just let me touch them, gently, please, and say, it will show. And I say that consciously because everyone will know whether you're putting in your best or not. So I challenge you, don't be an ordinary fellow. Be the kind of fellow that submits ahead of deadline. Be the kind of fellow that asks tough questions. Be the kind of fellow that when they say it is time to end and go, you will say, no, I am not going. I want to learn more, and I want to share, and I want to contribute. That's my first challenge to you. My second challenge to you is to make sure that your contribution is focused, it is persistent, and that you follow through. Now, what do I mean? I was a member of the Youth Caucus in 2003. I was an IT Youth Fellow in 2001. I, today, do many things. I'm executive director of Paradigm Initiative and also serve on the leadership panel for the United Nations Secretary General. But they all know there's one thing that I do well, and that is digital rights. There are many other areas. There are other people who are experts. You will listen to them. They are experts on technical issues. I can discuss technical issues with you, but when you come to digital rights, human rights in the digital age, I decided many years ago, no one will know it better than me. And this is my challenge to you today. What is the one area of internet governance that you will be the best at it? That when they assemble everybody across the world, and I'm not talking about African tokenism here. Yes, I'm African. Yes, I'm from the global south, but I will stand shoulder to shoulder with anyone from anywhere in the world and be the best at what I will do. That's my challenge to you. The good news is that when you choose to do that, resources, recognition, and a lot of other things will follow dedication to knowledge. When I started doing this many years ago, I had no idea that I would be able to work with and build an institution that will grow from thousands of naira and looking for money to working in projects today. Paradigm Initiative is in 6 African countries with offices in 6 African countries and working across 28 African countries. And the work that we do is not just in Africa, but across the global south. That takes a lot of money to do. Allow me to say that takes millions of dollars to do every year. How did we get there? We got there because we were dedicated, we were focused, we were resilient, and we continued to do the work. And trust me, we continue to do the work. We don't rest on our oars and say, oh, now we have a big budget, we're not working again. No. My team members will tell you, I fold my sleeves and I still get my hands dirty. Because there's a difference between saying, oh, we're moving from being an observer to being a participant, to being a student, to being an active person. And there's a difference between that and then saying, oh, well, I've done everything I want to do. I want to retire. So my first challenge to you today, don't be an ordinary fellow. Be the active person who in the next few years will not only be adding value to EGIGFA, but in every area of internet governance globally. And my second challenge to you is be the best. What is the other option? You either go big or you go home. This is my challenge to myself. This is my challenge to my team members at Paradigm Initiative. And this is the challenge that we take on every year. We either do it as the best institution, either do it as the best person in this sector, or I go home. Because there is no tool today that anyone, anywhere in the world has access to that I don't have access to. All I need is internet access. Yes, there are excuses. I would not give them. There is power failure. I will go and get backup devices, or I will go and borrow a computer. There was a time I didn't have a computer. My friends were football lovers. In the university, I will go to the medical floor because I know medical students have their own dedicated room with, one or two of them have computers. This was far back in 1998, 1999. But I know they love football. I don't like football. I don't watch football. So when they go to watch football, they watch 1.5 hours of football plus 30 minutes extra to do halftime or something like that, plus 2 hours extra to argue, Arsenal won. No, Man U did not win. No, Ghana Black Stars. No, Super Eagles. Those 5 hours, I used those 5 hours on their computer, such that I learned how to use those computers and I began to teach them, and they were paying me to do it. Listen, folks, you either give excuses or you do the right thing. You can be the best at what you do. Choose your own area. And my third challenge to you is a question I suspect you will ask. How do I know the right area for me? Well, it is complex, but it's also simple. How do you know? Your trajectory to date gives you an idea. The area that when they talk about it makes your heart, just go, I think you see someone speaking about it and you're like, I can do better than that. Or wow, this guy is great at this. You see others speaking about other topics, you're like, what is he saying? But areas that catch your fancy, areas of interest for you, when they talk about technical, community, ICANN, and all that, not because of the fellowships, but because of the real work of writing policy papers, if that tickles your interest, then it is the area for you. The other question is, what annoys you the most? When they discuss internet shutdowns, you're not really bothered. But when they discuss training for young people, you're like, why don't they? These people have millions. Why don't they train young people? That is the area for you. Then you are focused on development. Look at all the areas as you continue this week, as you continue today. You know that you will hear things from various people. Pay attention to what they say. And when any particular area tickles your fancy, focus on that area. Choose, number one, to be a different kind of fellow. Don't stick with just being a fellow in 2001. There's no reason why you can't advise a Secretary General or anyone bigger than that in just 23 years or even less, because now you have the internet and other things. So don't be an ordinary fellow. Be the fellow. Number two, choose your niche, which is the area that you will be known for. I tell people, my name is Benga Sheson. It is Benga Digital Rights Sheson. That's my middle name, Digital Rights. What will your middle name be? What is that thing that people will call you from everywhere in the world to say, please come and tell us about this because you are the best at it? And number three, which gap are you going to fill? There is the human rights layer, there's a legal layer, there's a technical layer, there's a communications layer, a development layer. They're all layers in internet governance. Which will be yours? Yes, you want to be the best, but which will be your area? I will get a chance to come back and discuss digital rights with you in the next hour, I think, and then we'll go deeper into the area that I know and share with you, and then we'll have a bit of, deeper discussion. But until then, my challenge to you remains, be the fellow. Don't just be one of the EGIGFA fellows. Be the fellow. Anyone who has given me the chance to be a fellow in this life, and I say this publicly, I know it's been recorded and you can quote me, anywhere that I've been a fellow in this life, beginning from 2001 with the ITU to Ashoka, to every fellowship I've been a part for, to Stanford, to everywhere, Harvard, Stanford, anywhere, Oxford, leadership, digital leadership fellowship, ask them a question. Was Benga an ordinary fellow or was he the fellow? What they will tell you is that I may not have been the tallest. I may not be the best looking. I may not be the richest, but there's one thing I know to do. It is to be the fellow, the one person who would take that fellowship, add value to it, and make sure that when anybody makes reference to that fellowship, especially about the time that I was there, they will say there was a guy who was there. His name is Ben Gashason. He is doing us proud. Be the fellow. And I look forward to celebrating you. And I will take pictures with you and tell people, I'll post on Twitter, that guy, that lady, I taught them in 2024. I am their friend. Why? Because you are the fellow. And you know, Soccer has many fathers and mothers. Everybody will be claiming you. I want to claim you too. Be the fellow. And I look forward to celebrating you. And I look forward to also chatting with you a bit more later. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to take them now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So Gwenga has said a lot. I don't know which one you picked, but even at this point, I still picked a lot of things. I'm telling you. So Gwenga, since we'll have you, we wouldn't want to take much of your time now. Please, if you have any questions, note it down. Okay, we'll have him. When he comes, you can just refer that, oh, in the morning you said ABCD, I wanted clarification. Okay, then he will do that. So Gwenga, thank you so much. Yes, you've said a lot of things. I've picked some again, and then I'm going to run with it. And God willing, next year, I'll give you feedback as well. So we are grateful. We'll have you back. So team, please let's give him a round of applause. Okay, how are we feeling? You've been bombarded with a lot of speeches. How are you feeling? No, honestly. You know, there are some people who can't deal with information overload. They feel it's too much information at one time. Do you have anyone like that? Feedback is good, oh, yes or no? Do you have anyone like that? Okay. But then how are you feeling? Who can say so far with all the speakers that have come up? How is your experience like? Genuinely, how are you feeling? Or what's going through your mind? Yes.
I'm really challenged. After listening to Bing, I'm really challenged. I'm excited, you know, about the future.
Wow, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice. She's excited about the future. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm also excited, and I feel like those people speaking to us today were in our shoes a few years back, and they are challenging us to give our best and then be at their position in the future. So that means a lot to me.
Nice, nice. Who else wants to share something? Okay, that's good.
Okay, thank you. So for me, the last speaker has got me thinking. And as he was speaking, I was just there grading myself. So since I began the fellowship, I was like, if I'm to grade myself, to rate myself, how has my performance been? And to be honest, yeah, it's not looking good. So I've taken something from his speech.
Great. I hope you are not settling that it's not looking good. It's an opportunity. Great. All right. Thanks. Okay, I'm liking it. You know, we've taken a lot of things, school and all that, because we had other speakers. But when we go for a snack and we come back, the dynamics will change a bit, in the sense that when you step up, even though we have our name tags, let's just mention your name, so that those who don't know you, we can know you. But for now, yeah. So next person. Yeah. So who wants to go next? Great.
Abdurrafi Hussein is my name.
Okay.
Actually, the last speaker got me on one thing. on not doing things late. When I started this GhanaSIG fellowship, after we're enrolled and other things, and then we're asked to sign up to the ICANN learning platform. I think I quickly started with so many things, and at the point I was asking myself, do you think we are doing the right thing? Because you have not been asked to start, but you are doing it. But at the end, I realized that waiting or trying to be the first was the best, because I want to thank Mr. Raymond and EGIGFA team for celebrating me as part of those who finished first using 1 week to finish 11 courses, which I initially thought that I was probably over rushing things or maybe just doing things on my own. But what he said has actually given me more hope that it is worthy to start things or to start first than trying to wait for deadlines. Thank you so much.
Great. That's a nice one. All right. So maybe 2 more. Oh, okay. So you.
Okay. Thank you very much. My name is Musa Husseini. Going through the online learning, and then even after successfully finishing the 11 models, I nearly gave up, even up until the final days. But for the calls or follow-ups did by Raymond, in fact, I was not seeing top even after going through the courses and listening to the 4 or so speakers. I get the understanding that it is normal. And even after feeling like you are not seeing top or you are getting confused, you can still make it. So I'm actually inspired by their speeches.
Nice, nice, nice. Please, you know what he said, maybe you might take it for granted, but after few years in the system, okay, if you remember what he said, then you'll keep going. There's always something to learn. Even today, you can join a working meeting or working group today, okay, and you will still get confused. So I like that he said that it's normal. You see, the thing is that it's normal, but you're not living there or you're not staying there. Okay, it's normal. So don't give up and say that, no, you move on. So when it happens, you are not disappointed. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
thank you
So
very much.
last one. And
Yeah,
then,
so
yep.
the keynotes and the speeches have been inspiring so far. I've been on LinkedIn and I'm seeing a lot of posts. Yeah. I'm a LinkedIn person, so.
Sure.
So I think I took 3 things from him. That's from Benga. I also followed him on LinkedIn as well. He said, be the fellow, not an honorary fellow, but be the fellow. The second thing is choose your niche. We started this whole thing and there was a lot of information process, but choosing that particular niche you want to be in is very important. For instance, during the ICANN meeting that happened from June 10 to I think the 13th, I realized that there was a lot of meetings, but which one do you want to belong to? That's the most important thing. So I realized that for my background, I wanted to be in the technical community, but I come after the fellowship where it's like we are part of the ALAC community. Yeah. But as you go ahead, you now find your niche. Yeah. So that's one important thing, finding your niche. And the third thing is filling the gap. So I believe that as you're a fellow, you also have to have a gap you are filling. That's trying to make that impact. So those are the 3 critical things. And I must thank the whole organization because you do self-paced courses on your own, but this is more of like a military self-paced course because it's like they are on you. Your mentors are checking up on you. And I must say, thank you very much, lady, for it's like she was like stalking me. She was calling me, trying to find out. My mentor, Nelly. Yes, yeah. Yeah, and she has been very, very inspiring. Sometimes I ask her questions and how were you able to juggle through all these things because you have a lot of work to do and all that. So those were some of the commitments I took upon myself to make sure that I get this done. And I think the final thing I'll say is thank you very much, Mr. Raymond, because having to write reflections is a different thing altogether. Going through the presentations each and every week is a different thing altogether. So I must say thank you very much, because it's been engaging, because there are a lot of programs you join and it's like they leave you to find your own thing, find your faith. But this has been a game changer. Thank you very much.
Nice. And that's a good way to wrap up. Oh, no, please. He spoke your mind. So just appreciate him. All right. So we'll pause it there. We'll continue with that. And then we know our, okay, so Sweet Sarata. I call her Sweet Sarata. So Sweet Sarata, she's introduced herself already. So we'll take a presentation from her and then we can continue from there.
Thank you so much, Karen. So this morning, you've enjoyed a lot of information. What I'm going to give you is going to be very brief due to time, because we have one more speaker who is going to be with us, and then we'll go on snack break. Not to take much of your time, as I said, so I'm going to just run through. I'm giving you a brief of infographics on GhanaSIG for 2024 and an outlay of the first year to the fifth year, very brief. So like 3 minutes and then we are done. So for our online audience, especially our guest speakers, for them to also know what we've been doing. Okay. So ideally, this is the outline for the presentation, but because we have to run through just 3 minutes and then we are done. So we're looking at, for the profile, you already know, so I'll not talk about it. And then we'll look at the phases of GhanaSIG, the selections, and then a few highlights. So basically, these are the phases that you went through. These are the phases that you went through when the been in March. It was the whole of March we gave you the opportunity to apply. And it may interest you to know that over 400 applications were received. And out of that, you are the selected ones. So you are quite privileged, you know. So in the month of April, we had the acceptance from the team, that is those who were selected, and we had an orientation. During that period too, we had a call for mentors, and we had a training for our mentors as well. So the mentors that are with you, we don't just leave them to be with you, we give them a bit of training. So you can be green, whether you've mentored before or not. When the application is open, it only goes for fellows for the mentorship. So next year, when it is open, I urge most of you to apply and give back to society. So after the selection, then we have your 6 weeks online training, which you all enjoyed. Yes. I know it's not been easy for the 6 weeks, but you've proved yourself. That is why you are here. So congrats. And today we are starting with our face-to-face session. We're just in the first half of the day. And already you have a lot of information to swallow. Okay. Then after the week, we have our fellowship report. Everybody is going to give a report, but because of what you've gone through for the 6 weeks online, we make the fellowship report more easy for you. So it's more like the icing on the cake. So just relax when doing your reports. In terms of the applicants, as I said, we had over 400 applications. And as much as possible, we try to encourage more women and ladies to participate in the GhanaSIG program. So these are the numbers in terms of males and in terms of females. This year, we actually had a lot of females applying. So kudos to the ladies as well. And congrats to the men who are pushing the ladies to apply. We appreciate that. So in terms of nationality, we have 70%, 75% Ghanaians, and we have 23% from other nationals. So as you meet in here, we have different countries represented in the room, and you are all still part of GhanaSIG. I know this question was asked, so we wouldn't answer that. And in terms of stakeholders, we cut across. We don't limit the people who participate in GhanaSIG. So we have the international organization in there. We have the technical community, the end users, security services. We have the government agencies. We have business and commerce. And then we also have academia. These are the fellowship numbers so far. So year 2020, we had 32 people as fellows. And I want you to be looking at the orange bar. We can see what is happening there. Yes. It fell and it started rising again. So these are the ladies, the orange. So it keeps rising. And we want to encourage that. And as EGIGFA team, we always promote inclusion. So we encourage more of the women in there. Women, we make about 50 plus of the population, so we can't leave them behind. Yes, so as much as possible, we have to give room and then encourage more ladies in there. And these are the highlights. We have about 5 months that we start and end the program. So we start with the application and then selection. Once you go through that, we have the intensive online session that we do together as well. And then we come for the 1 week on-site training. This is all to help you to create the skills that you require so that you can contribute meaningfully, nationally and internationally, and also to contribute when it comes to policy decision-making. And then we don't allow our fellows to learn alone. We have our mentors in there to assist you on your journey. And for the last 3 or so years, we introduced the presentations from fellows. And I think it's been amazing. We can all attest to that. We don't prompt anybody, whether you know how to present or not. You have some guidelines from your mentors, you do your own presentation, and you present on the various topics that you have learned every week. And I think it's been an amazing period. Those who don't understand during those sessions, they're able to get some more information. And I think that is good, and we're going to keep that up. So that is it for the highlights. And so far, we've trained over 200 fellows. That's from 2020 to 2024. Yes. And our fellows are always encouraged, you don't end it here. And Benga has also said a lot. We'll meet him again. You don't end it here. We move on to AfriSIG we move on to ISOC Global, we move on to ICANN, and other internet governance meetings and associations that we can make it possible to join and participate in. So this is not the end of the journey when you are done with the 4 days. As I said, it's just the beginning. When it comes to fellowship engagement, we give you all the necessary skills, expertise that you require. So if you sit aloof, then it's your own palaver. But we encourage everybody to move on. So during the 4 days session, you're going to have a very intensive day on the last day, where you're going to be taken through the processes. You're going to join some of the ICANN groups. We introduce you to ISOC Global and even Ghana ISOC, so that you can join and then continue the discussion there. The last but not the least on this one is that this project is fully funded by EGIGFA team with support from our sponsors and our partners, 100% sponsored. Won't you give it up for us? Okay. So thank you so much for your time. Yes. We have our last speaker online. We will give her the opportunity. She's also a very big lady. She's on, so I'll hand over the mic to Karen for Karen to take it up from there. Once again, thank you for your time.
So did you see that it wasn't easy for you to make it? Or you didn't feel that like that?
Actually, it wasn't easy.
You didn't feel that. Okay, maybe you didn't feel it. I don't know. Okay, so Hadia, can you confirm?
Yes, sure.
Great. You know, I'm always excited when I see women at some of the positions. Okay, so Hadia, forgive me for attempting to pronounce your other name. So probably let me just leave it for you to help us with. So everybody here, someone say Afralo. Do you know the Afralo chair? Oh, you don't know the Afralo chair? Oh, okay. Hadia is the Afralo chair. Yes, Afralo chair. So Hadia, we are excited to have you. Thank you so much for making the time to join us. This is the 5th edition. And then we are excited that you being a woman, as we always try to get more women into the space, it will be an encouragement to a lot of the ladies to take up, despite all the things that we usually use as an excuse. You have been there, and then you are the chair of Afralo. So we acknowledge you, we thank you, and then we are ready to hear from you. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. And this is Hadia El-Minyawi. And I would like to thank each and everyone who has actually participated in organizing this event. I would like also to mention particularly Sarata and Raymond Mamata. Thank you so much for allowing me to be part of GhanaSIG Fellowship this year. And briefly, as mentioned, I'm African Regional At-Large Organization Chair. And as you might already know, Afralo is the home of the individual internet user community for the African region. It provides news, key resources, and interactive information sharing tools for individuals and end user groups in the African region who are interested in ICANN and in shaping the future of the internet. So with this today, I would like actually to quickly touch on ICANN and at-large activities at global internet governance meetings. And I will start with the Global Digital Compact. So first, I will say briefly what the Global Digital Compact is about. And then I will briefly talk about ICANN and the GDC meetings. So briefly, the Global Digital Compact, following the political declaration that was adopted at the United Nations 75th anniversary in September 2020, the Secretary General released in 2021 his report, Our Common Agenda. The Common Agenda proposed a Global Digital Compact to be agreed at the Summit of the Future in September 2024. The Global Digital Compact outlines shared principles for an open, free, and secure digital future for all. And the objectives of the GDC are is to close the digital divides, expand inclusion, foster an inclusive, open, safe, and secure digital space, advance equitable data governance, enhance international governance of artificial intelligence and emerging technologies, and cooperation will be guided by principles, among which is multi-stakeholder. So multi-stakeholder, basically governments and other stakeholders, including the private sector, civil society, technical community, academia, and international and regional organizations, and their roles in and responsibilities in advancing an inclusive, open, safe, and secure digital future. So the zero draft of the GDC was released in on April 1st, and there was a general sense that the initial draft captured key elements important to the technical community. Some of those positive elements of the zero draft included recognizing the technical community with specific roles and responsibilities in internet operations. The revised zero draft was released on 15th of May, 2024. And the revised draft reassures commitment to the outcomes of the World Summit on Information Society, WSIS. So ICANN, in that regard, prepared two sets of webinars. The first set was in April, and the second set actually happened yesterday and today. And I have links to the webinars because they are recorded. And after this, I will email Sarada like a short like 3 slides that include the links. And so basically, ICANN organized those webinars as part of the WSIS Plus 20 outreach network. So that gives us, makes us talk about the second thing, which is the Summit of the Future. And so today, actually, we are mentioning three important events and that are happening in the internet governance sphere. So the first was the GDC, and the second now that we're talking about is the Summit of the Future, and the third will be the WSIS Plus 20. So the Summit of the Future. So as part of an effort to reset global cooperation, the UN will host world leaders, policymakers, and experts this year in September. And the goal is to rethink what multilateralism means on a rapidly changing world. So the Summit of the Future is expected to produce 3 international frameworks. The first is the Pact of the Future, the second is the Global Digital Compact, and the third is about the future of the generations. And so basically, this is where the Global Digital Compact will actually go. And again, ICANN has established a WESIS Plus 20 outreach network. And the WESIS Plus 20 outreach network, as I mentioned, organized webinars. And the webinar, which just concluded some hour ago, was about the second revision of the Global Digital Compact and its implication. And the webinars provided a space for stakeholders to share information and engage in discussions on how to preserve and continue to evolve the multi-stakeholder model of internet governance. If you would like actually to take part of the WESIS Plus 20 outreach network, you can go online and subscribe in order to be part of this. And that leads us to the WESIS Plus 20 outreach network. And obviously, the WESIS Plus 20 refers to the World Summit on the Information Society 20-year review. And the outreach network brings together like-minded stakeholders to facilitate coordinated efforts leading up to the WESIS Plus 20 negotiations happening in 2025. So the WESIS Plus 20 outreach network aims to provide rationale to the UN member states, all stakeholders, and the general public for why the WESIS Plus 20 review process should result in, among other goals, preserving the current multi-stakeholder model of internet governance and extending the internet governance forum, which is the IGF mandate. So basically, this is what I wanted to mention today, those 3 events, and how ICANN actually is involved in all 3, and how you could actually be part of this. Again, you can Google WESIS Plus 20 ICANN Outreach Network. You can subscribe and become a part of this network if you wish. If you also want to have more information about the GDC revised 0 draft, you could also listen to the webinars. They are online. And that will be it for me today. I thank you again and hand the floor back to Sarada. Thank you.
Yeah, so we are very grateful, Hadia, for your time. I believe everybody has picked something from you, and just to appreciate you for the good work and then making the time. Please, do you have any questions? All right. So thank you so much, Hadia. We are grateful. So we move on to our last speaker for the morning. Sorry. All right, so let's go for a quick snack. 15 minutes, we come back. Are we good? Sorry. Oh, you don't feel like going? Because we have Benga waiting for us. He's online. No, we are not supposed to eat here, so we have to go out. We have a place for that. So just 15 minutes. Okay, so let's have a deal. Let's have a deal. Benga is online. He has a session with us. He can't go beyond a particular time. Should we have him when he's done? We should go.
Let him.
So, all right, then let's have the EC. I thought since the EC is with us, we can always have it. Then we go. All right, so the EC, you'll get to know the EC. So I won't say much about the EC. We are blessed. I don't know which group you belong to, and then they have the EC. That's the executive committee. So the ladies rep of the executive committee will give us a speech on behalf of the EC. So, Madam Pfizer, we are ready for you.
Okay, this one's better. Hi, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and esteemed fellows. On behalf of the Ghana School on Internet Governance Fellows Executive Committee, I am delighted to welcome you all to this face-to-face training session for our for our fellows in training, sorry. This gathering marks the beginning of an exciting journey, one that promises to be enriching, transformative, and impactful. Before we delve into the heart of our training, I would like to take a moment to introduce the GhanaSIG Fellows Executive Committee. The Executive Committee is comprised of dedicated individuals who have committed their time, expertise, and passion to steer the vision and mission of GhanaSIG. Our role is to provide strategic direction, ensure quality and impact of our programs, and support the development of our fellows. So we have the president, who is in the person of Prince Andrew Livingston Zuta, who is not here. The vice president is Ben Rachad. I am the ladies representative, Faiza Saidi Adam, and our administrator is here, Al-Hassan Suleiman Al-Hassan. Can you please give us a wave? Okay. So we are not just administrators, we are your advocates, mentors, and partners in this journey. Our collective experiences spans various professions: internet governance, policy making, and community engagement. We are here to ensure that you receive the best possible training and that your experiences as GhanaSIG Fellow is both rewarding and impactful. The internet has become an integral part of our daily lives, influencing how we communicate, learn, work, and even engage with the world. As future leaders in the realm of internet governance, you stand the threshold of an incredible opportunity to shape the digital space of our tomorrow. Your role is pivotal in ensuring that the internet remains open, secure, inclusive for all. At GhanaSIG, our mission is to equip you with the knowledge, skills, and network necessary to navigate the complexities of internet governance. Over the course of this training, you will delve into critical topics such as cybersecurity, data privacy, digital rights, and policy advocacy. You will engage with experts, participate in simulating discussions, and collaborate with peers who share your passion for a better digital future. Our goal for this year is to empower digital leaders for tomorrow. This goal reflects our commitment to not only impacting knowledge, but also fostering leadership and innovation. As you embark on this journey, remember that you are not just participants, you are change makers. Your insights, ideas, actions will contribute to the collective efforts of building a resilient and inclusive digital ecosystem. We are honored to have a distinguished lineup of speakers and trainers who will bring wealth of experience and expertise. Their guidance will be invaluable as you explore the various dimensions of internet governance. I encourage you all to actively engage, ask questions, and make the most of this unique learning opportunity. As we begin this face-to-face training, let us also remember the importance of collaboration and community. The strength of GhanaSIG lies in our diverse and vibrant network of fellows, mentors, and partners. Together, we can achieve remarkable outcomes and drive meaningful change. In conclusion, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our organizers, trainers, mentors, and all those who have contributed to making this event possible. To our fellows in training, I wish you a rewarding and inspiring experience. May this training empower you to become leaders and advocates for secure, open, and inclusive internet. Thank you, and let us embark on this journey with enthusiasm and a shared vision for the future. Thank you.
Nice. So if she's your mentor, you see that you are blessed to have the ladies rep being your mentor. So, Madam Rep, we are grateful for your kind words. Prezo will be with us during the program. So now I think it's a good time to go for our snacks, right? Is it like you're not happy or something? I don't know what's going on. Morale is down. Okay, then let's go. Please, we have just 15 minutes, okay?